I'm going to start by rebending all this back into the correct shape. It doesn't fit too bad here, but this is all, that's just nothing. It's got to be cut away. Anyway, right, I can get this tyre lever in here and lift that up pretty good. So what I plan on doing is I'll lift it up and I'll MIG one of these holes up, and then I'll cool it with the cold water, and that should help it stay up. I'll just go into each one, lift it up. It's about as good as I'm going to get it at this stage. No, perfect world to be getting a new panel. This back bit's crap. I'm still debating, like this has been taken off here and put back on, and not very well. So I'm sort of thinking of taking this off. But not today. I want to try and do this at the moment. And I've got that sort of ready for fill. Just bang me thumb again. You get that. Anyway, I've cut this back section out. Made a bit of a patch. I was trying to make it in one piece, but it's just a bit too tricky. I'm going to make it in two pieces. Well, there's all that done. I've put a new edge down here. Made this new piece. I still haven't done that section there. I'll do that tomorrow. I've just run out of time. Right, there's that bit there done. Now I know why it was left with just a bare hole there, because that is a super tricky piece to get right. Had to put the boot on and off. I lost count of how many times, at least 40 times. Anyway, I'll just throw the boot on and show you what. I'm just going to flick a bit of primer on that, and I'll throw the boot on, show us the gap. Alright, you can see the gap there. And it's going to need to have filler and stuff fixing that up. That boot lid's just sitting on there. But now this is the good side. You've got to do this side now, which isn't too bad, but it's all work. You've got to have that gap all the way along, has to be the same. Up around here where I've fixed it, it's just got to be the same. Otherwise the thing's not going to seal, the boot will be too high. If it's too high, the boot won't line up. If it's too low, water will piss in there. There's no two ways about it. That has to be the same shape as the boot lid on the inside. Anyway, I'm very happy with that. You know, it's going to need a little bit more grinding and more fill and stuff, but you know, I'm very happy with that. That's just sitting there. Like, that's just pretty much where it's going to sit once it's all done. Anyway, that's that bit done. Now I've got to put the quarter panel back on. That's next for this. That's tomorrow or whenever I work on it next. I'm still not feeling right. I don't know what's going on, but you get that. Also now this is all welded on here solidly. Like it wasn't even welded along this bottom bit, so it really couldn't have shut properly, this boot. That's just flapping there. It was hardly welded on at all. It was probably similar on this side, but I'll go over the whole thing. Like all in here's got to get sandblasted. Everything like that. The floor, in the engine bay, all this shit's getting sandblasted. I've got to do this little repair here. It's a bit dented, that'll get fixed. But that's, you know, the stage that's coming up. Just brush some paint on in here. Some people don't like putting stuff on that. I do. It's also going to be getting all flooded with fish oil up in here. Every single crevice of this vehicle will get flooded with fish oil. In here all this stuff's been painted. Just brush painted with some old paint I had lying around. Once the panel's welded on, and you know, towards the end, you go around and you seal all down these edges, so none of this stuff can come from here into there. Well, that's the plan anyway. One other thing, because I've had this off, it's made it so much easier to make this here. Otherwise I've got to go out, I've got to crawl in through here, get up in there, crawl over and look at what it is, and then you come back out. By the time you get back out, you forget which bit you had to change. It's just made life so much easier having that panel off. Now I'm going to make sure that side there is right before I put this quarter panel on, because I've also got this access here where I can see across there. So I've got to make sure that other side's right just before I put this panel on. Okay, panel's back on. Got a nice gap here with the door. It's better than it was actually. A really nice gap. This panel's all straight now. Just needs to have light skim and bog over it. Now it's got, we'll be able to hold the mould down just with this edge. And this, that was just taped on, this mould. It just had nothing there. It's all got nice edging down here, just needs cleaning up with the grinder. There was nothing there. I'm pretty happy with that. It's all come out fairly well. It's not, I would say it came out very well compared to what it was, but I'm just gonna leave it like that, because tomorrow I'm gonna grind that down and start putting the bog on it. Just a bit of a long shot of it. I'm glad to see that panel back on actually. It took longer than I thought. I've been going all day. I'm going up to have some to eat. Plan tomorrow is grind that down, sand it all down, go over it with the hammer and see if there's any high spots, bog her up. All that's done. This panel, back panel's all repaired. I've changed the shape of this. That's all been changed so it looks good underneath. I don't really have to do a lot to that, but it's also, this back bit here is this cactus, so I'm not taking this panel off. There's no way. I'm just going to repair that. I'm not sure how I'll fix this edge yet, but I'll figure something out. I want to put a nice edge there like the other side, but that needs to be pushed out and straightened. I'm definitely cutting the bottom off that lower section and this section here. That's next week. I want to get that all in putty. Right across there. I won't actually putty this, but it'll be all repaired. This will be all repaired. That'll be putty. And this will be just waiting for that, and then it'll get all, the rest of it will get spray putty on it. Yeah, pretty happy with that. Is that all ground down? I'm stopping now. Yeah, tomorrow I've got to sand all this paint, the edge primer off, sand all this off, go over it with filler. I'll tell you what, that was not easy. You've got to be so precise when you're grinding on this car. There's no room for error at all. You can so easily grind a hole. You can sand straight through this steel. I'm not kidding, you can sand through it. I'll never do another one of these old Hondas. I don't care who it's for, what it's for, I ain't doing another one. This is it. Put that rust kill stuff on there 100 times. Sandblast it once, you'll never get it that good. Now all that rust is gone. I don't have to think about it later. In years to come I think, oh, will that rust come back? There's no rust there now. Anyway, this panel's ready to be bogged. Yeah, okay, I've just slapped some filler on this panel here, just so, you know, that's the first coat. Not an easy shaped vehicle to put filler on. It's bloody hard. Everything about this car is hard. It's just ridiculous. I'll be glad when it's done. Like getting it up in here, it's almost impossible. Anyway, whatever. There's up and around here, it's all got to be filled. There's just nothing easy about it. Anyway, I'm hungry, I'm going to eat. I think I'll even call it a day. I've just had to delete this hole here. I'll do this side when I get to it. Originally this car had a little light there, but someone's changed it. I didn't realise, I didn't take the tail lights off this, my son did. So I've just fit that tail light there just to make sure everything's right. And it's been split. Bottom bit's the blinker, the top bit's red, so it's already been changed. So that's getting deleted properly, not just bogged like they had it. So far I've got 6 hours into this filling, doing the filling on this car. Very, very difficult car to work on. This could even be the most difficult car I've ever worked on. I've been doing this since 1979. You can't get anything in there. You can't even get an applicator in there. There's no machine fits in there for starters. This back thing's all buggered. Anyway, there's actually 3 panels here. I'm fixing this back one, this panel here, and then this panel. when I get a chance, I'll do what I did with the front guards. I've cut out that applicator to make a thing, and makes it easier to put that there anyway, the edge. I can't see that getting fixed in another 4 hours. But we'll see what it looks like after tomorrow. I'll put another 4 hours on it and we'll see what it looks like. I got a feeling I've got at least another 8 hours in sanding all this crap down. Anyway, I've drawn a line here just as a reference, so I've got to cut that edge down to there and get that all shaped and then get this part right. There's also a line here, which previous people didn't have that. It was all bogged down smooth. So I'm going to try and do it a bit better. Doesn't look like I've done much. A nice gap there now. Very nice. Doesn't look like I've done a lot, but what's that? That's 9 hours I've got on this sanding so far. And it's not done yet. I've probably got at least another 3 hours. Well, we'll see. Could be probably more. Another 4 hours on that. That panel's basically done. It's just pinholes, a couple of pinholes. I don't know. This time that U-pole dolphin stuff wasn't as good as the last few cans. This back bit, way worse than I ever expected. I just need a little bit of this, bit of that. I'll be definitely putting it in putty tomorrow. I've fixed most of this panel here. I've just got to weld this up, do something with that and this. That's next week, or whenever I start on it. But yeah, man, big job. Big job. What have I got on that? It's 9 and 4. It's 13 hours I've got doing the filling on that. I've still got at least another 2 hours. Ready to put some putty on this thing. Took a lot of effort to get that right. That back panel, pretty stuffed. Yeah, that turned out very good. I must admit, it was well worth putting in the extra time and just making sure it came out good. From here across, I've got to fix. That's got to get deleted. This has to get fixed. That's got to get welded up. But most of that panel's done. It was terrible, that panel. It was just a joke. It was that bad. Anyway, it's turned out pretty good. I'll give that three or four coats of putty and that'll be right. Okay, now this whole side's completed. All the top's finished, the front and the back's finished. Except I've just got to do this little area here, just that little area. I've got to do this panel and this quarter panel. And then all the panel beating's done. Then, anyway, we'll get onto that panel. Not today, I'm done for the day. Anyway, thanks for that.